An American hostage is on her way home today after a daring overnight rescue by special forces in Somalia. Jay Gray walks us through what happened.
The earliest indication there had been a raid and rescue came as the commander-in-chief thanked Defense Secretary Leon Panetta.
And President Obama gave the go-ahead to the rescue mission on Monday after reports that Buchanan was dealing with some health issues that needed immediate attention. All right, we've got President Barack Obama speaking in Cedar Rapids right now. We've got that signal back. Let's take a live listen.
Let me be clear. If you're a company that wants to outsource jobs or do business around the world, that's your right. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless America.
President Obama there in Cedar Rapids talking about his economic blueprint for America, talking about fair trade, calling on Congress to pass his jobs plan, and calling on the wealthy to pay higher taxes. We will be right back. Davenport city leaders are expecting another heated council meeting tonight as they take a final vote on that budget plan that includes $4.3 million in cuts. The city council is already in agreement on how to cut $1.6 million. They plan to eliminate 25 full-time positions, 14 part-time positions, and freeze 5 fire department positions. To close the rest of the deficit, the city will decide between 2 options. One option includes a tax hike of $1.25. The other includes cutting another 20 to 30 jobs. That meeting starts at 5:30 tonight. Meantime, the Davenport School District is working on its own budget. Last night, parents and teachers had a chance to sound off on some pretty big budget cuts, especially about closing Lincoln School. KWQC's Erica Cervantes brings us parents' concerns.
We're just closing more schools and shoving more kids in different classrooms.
Also on the chopping block, transportation cuts, a district athletic director, and 1 assistant principal at each high school. They're also talking about increasing class size, which would cut 6 teachers, hopefully through early retirement. Now, there are 2 more chances to voice your concerns. The next public hearing is Tuesday, January 31st at North High School in the auditorium, then Wednesday, February 1st at West High School's auditorium. Both start at 6 p.m. Well, coming up on your news at noon, an unexpected way to start the new year on the unemployment line, as dozens of Quad City workers are told they're laid off. And we're looking live here at Cedar Rapids, the president greeting people after speaking at a business there. Is Apple now worth more than oil giant ExxonMobil? And a hip-hop music mogul launching a new music cable network. With those stories and more, let's get to Jane King at the New York Stock Exchange.
Last night, Apple reported a blockbuster profit quarter.
Thanks, Jane. Dozens of workers at TSC Global in Rock Island no longer have a job. They tell us about 40 employees showed up Monday morning and were sent home. That leaves 17 people in the warehouse, but things don't look promising for them either. Those employees were told the business could close as soon as 2 weeks from now.
We knew it was coming, but I didn't think it would be this quick of time.
Employees tell us TSC Global recently lost a big contract. The company distributes things like automotive supplies, gifts, and clothing to truck stops and convenience stores. The company has not returned any of our phone calls. Lights, camera, action. As KWQC's Fran Riley reports, students at one Davenport school have created a public service announcement which tackles a very important subject. And the video has already been placed on Facebook and the school's website. They hope to put it on YouTube. Remember, if you have a story idea for Fran, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email at news@kwqc.com. And Teresa, what a great idea. Kids really relating to kids there. You know, you don't see a lot of that on PSAs.
Yeah, and being able to teach a very, very important lesson to all of us. So.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect outside. It's starting to get gray out there.
Yeah, you can see it. The gray skies continue and a little strip of precipitation in the upper levels, not reaching the ground, so not really a concern for us. What we can expect to see is this. Look at that. Clearing skies off to the west, some sunshine tomorrow, and warmer temperatures. More on that in your First Alert forecast.
We'll be right back. And this new video as Gabby Giffords casts her last vote and leaves Congress to take care of her health. Well, the president just spoke in Cedar Rapids. We watched it live, talking about the economy, fair trade, and creating jobs. Here's a bit of what he had to say.
We need to make it easier for American businesses to do business here in America.
And we'll have a full report on that speech tonight at 4, 5, and 6. But topping your news at 12:30, the same military special operations team that took down Osama bin Laden is being praised again today. A short time before President Obama gave his State of the Union speech, Navy SEAL teams rescued 2 hostages during a daring overnight raid in Somalia. One of the rescued, an American aid worker. U.S. officials say as the SEALs entered the compound, gunfire broke out. Several of the kidnappers were killed and the SEALs grabbed the 2 hostages. Both hostages were working for the Danish Refugee Council, providing relief for some 450,000 Somali refugees when they were kidnapped last October. Congressman Giffords appeared on the House floor to cast her last vote today. It was for her final piece of legislation, a bill that would impose tough new penalties on people who smuggle drugs across the U.S.-Mexico border using airplanes. It was a measure she had been working on, and it passed overwhelmingly. Afterwards, things got emotional as several of Giffords' fellow lawmakers stood up, one by one, to wish her farewell.
Gabby's beauty is in the heart, in the soul.
Giffords is resigning in order to focus on her recovery. She was shot in the head last January in a shooting spree that killed 6 others. And Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann is back in the race. No, not the presidential race. The former Republican presidential hopeful says she's going to run for a 4th term in the House. Bachmann was the first casualty of the Iowa caucuses, finishing in 6th place before bowing out. And today, several hundred people lined up to pay their respects to legendary Penn State coach Joe Paterno. The long line stretches down the block and around police barricades, some people arriving 3 hours early to be part of day 2 of the public viewing. Now, there will be a private viewing later today. The Hall of Fame coach died Sunday, 2 months after being diagnosed with lung cancer. A campus memorial service is scheduled for tomorrow. Well, today marks 1 year since Egyptians first took to the streets in an uprising that would force their longtime leader Hosni Mubarak from power. You're looking at the protests that sparked the revolution last January. A year later, the mood in Cairo's main square is celebratory. And coming up on your news at noon, he lost a leg, but he hasn't lost his spirit. How this man is inspiring an entire community and beyond. Well, he lost his leg, but that's not stopping him from living life and inspiring a community. Randy McElwain has the story.
A lot of heart, a lot of potential. All the way around, that's good, but.
Well, take a look at this. Looks like something from a Hitchcock horror film, but it's no movie. Why experts think these birds are swarming. Well, we have some breaking news for you this noon hour. We're learning that OSHA will not find anyone in the deaths of 2 teens who lost their lives while they were detasseling. Today is the 6-month anniversary of the death of Jade Garza and Hannah Kendall, both 14 years old. They were working in a field near Tampico, Illinois. OSHA says it can't prove cause, so it will not fine anyone. We'll have more on this breaking story at 4, 5, and 6. Well, a Colorado teen is turning heads because of how much she can bench press. This weightlifter is up to 176 pounds, almost twice her body weight. Oh, and did I mention it's also an 8th grade girl? Corey Rose has more. And Abby's trainer says it's a common misconception that kids and teens shouldn't lift weights. He says as long as they have the right form and work their way up, there's no health risk to it. And take a look at this. These are solar flares. Learn more about why this happens and how you can see it in today's Good Pictures. Well, it seems the only phenomenon we're seeing in the Quad Cities today is melting snow, but Mother Nature is putting on a show in Finland. Check out today's Good Pictures. The northern lights have been lighting up the sky in the far north. It's not an unusual sight for the locals, but thanks to a big solar storm, the lights are more intense. The aurora borealis has also been seen much further south. That means residents of Ireland and northeast England have been able to spot the bountiful phenomenon, a rarity for them. A representative of the British Astronomical Association says the lights could be visible for a few more days. Also in today's Good Pictures, remind you of a familiar movie. A neighborhood in northern Kentucky is under siege from thousands of blackbirds. Twice a day since November, these birds have been swarming in a wooded area of Oldham County. Residents have tried numerous ideas to scare the birds away, including using a sound cannon. Experts are not sure why the birds have selected this patch of woods, but neighbors hope they'll move soon. And a look ahead to the stories you'll see later on KWQC, plus your First Alert forecast when we come back. And coming up today on Paula Sands Live, it's wedding week, and it's a brand new trend. You used to see them at the mall, but now you can get a photo booth at your wedding. Paula explains it all today at 3.
And today we expect mostly cloudy skies.
And thanks for watching the news at noon. We'll have the latest on the president's visit and everything else tonight at 4, 5, and 6. Have a great afternoon.